Hey everyone, so strange one today. A lot of people come to me and ask, do I have an entity attached? Do you have an entity attached? I kind of put myself out there with this one, but that's fine because it comes up a lot with the work that I do as body code practitioner, emotion code practitioner, and as an energy intuitive. So today it's all about entities. Do you have one attached? Do you suspect you have one attached? Do you know what they are? Don't be scared, it's okay. They're just negative type energy, just like any other energy. So I'm going to tell you all about that today and what you can do if you think you may have one attached as well. Right, so first of all, what is an entity? Well, in my world as a body code practitioner, an entity is something that is attached to you or hanging around you in your energy field that's unseen. It's a negative force, a negative energy that's not part of you, but it's sort of latched on or hanging around and causing you some problem. So potential symptoms of having an entity around you: fatigue, discomfort, pain, negativity, mood issues, addiction, feeling like there's something attached to you that is like outside of you, feeling stuck, nightmares, feeling inner conflict or resistance coming in, a conflict of resistance coming in from the outside, pressing in on you, self-sabotage, self-harm, anger at self, mental illness, self-destructive behaviours. There's a lot there, and I've had my own little sort of tangle with them. I think it's part of my job, but it's also part of being human. It's not abnormal. There are many things in this universe that we probably can't see, know nothing about. Our vision is very limited to a very limited spectrum. And I just feel this is just part of being a human, to be honest with you, and something that's easily dealt with as well. So if you kind of identify with some of those things on the list, or all of them, it may be that you have an entity attached. And what I would suggest and what I would do with my clients is I use the body code. And the body code, you can see the book there. It's a book, it's also an app. It's a revolutionary healing system that helps you to seek out the root causes of different areas of imbalance with your physical body, emotional body, energy body, spirit body. And so actually in the body code system, we have a section under energy that's called saboteur energies and offensive energies. Sorry, not saboteur. Saboteur is a thing. Offensive energies. And under that is a whole section called entities. And so what I would do as a practitioner is I would actually muscle test and ask your subconscious mind, do you have an entity attached? And if I get a strong muscle test, that's a yes. And then what I would do is I would ask, okay, are there other imbalances in your system that I need to clear before we can get rid of this entity? And often we'll get a yes, and I have to go through the body code app, clear all the things that are standing in the way of releasing this negative energy, and then eventually we can release it. And I go through a whole protocol that involves raising vibration. I personally say some prayers on it. I use magnetic energy. So there is a protocol that we're taught as practitioners to go through with that. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts, really. But I wanted to talk a bit more because I was at a seminar last year for the Emotion Code, the Body Code, with Dr. Bradley Nelson, who created those techniques. He wrote both the books. And he talked at length about entities. I think he felt that people get very literally spooked by the idea of them. And he kind of wanted to allay some fears. And he actually said as well, because he was a doctor of chiropractic, he was coming across entities and this sort of issue quite regularly with people, but he didn't really talk about it a lot outwardly, because he said honestly he felt like he would lose his whole reputation that he'd built up and respect from people in his field. But he decided that when he found these entities and then cleared them away, moved them on, the person that had the entity attached recovered and got better so much that he felt he would be doing a disservice to humanity if he didn't talk about it. So he basically stated he believes that there are two basic types of entity. One of them is an earthbound soul who has been here on the planet as a human and has passed over, has died, but either they don't know that they've passed and they're confused and they're stuck, so they're just trying to latch on to you or someone because they don't know what's going on, and they kind of get stuck here with you. Or sometimes, and this was a key thing he talked about, sometimes he believes that it's a person who's had a strong addiction in life as a human, and that addiction's sort of still keeping them tied here. So for instance, if you've seen the film Ghost, there's a bit where Patrick Swayze's character, who's died but he's become earthbound temporarily, he goes to a bar and there are, you know, lots of people drinking there, and then there are entities around those people sort of trying to reach and get to the drinks. So he believes that some entities, they're trying to maintain that addiction by being attached to a person who has the same addiction. So if it's drugs, they would attach onto someone who's doing drugs, and just in an attempt to try and get an essence of that. Basically, what to watch out for if you don't want to attract these negative energies is to engage in higher vibrational activities. Keep your vibration high, and your vibration is the rate and the frequency that your energy is vibrating at. It's more the lightness of your energy. So things like drinking alcohol, feeling depressed, low mood, anything self-destructive, thinking self-destructive thoughts, all those sorts of things that make you feel heavy, that make you feel lower in yourself, drag you down, make you feel like you're sort of incarcerated in your own little world, you know, stuck, addicted to something. Those are things that will lower your vibration. Then you're more susceptible. And I do believe that alcohol is sort of a bit of a gateway as well. So I do love a glass of red, but I kind of eased off a bit on that. I still have a glass of wine now and then, but I just don't really indulge too much. So the other type of entity is a disembodied energy that has not been to the planet, has not had a human life here. And this is what Dr. Brad is talking about. So he believes that they are negative energies that kind of want to disrupt, do harm. They feed off your negative energy that gives them power, and so they try to disrupt things in your life, in your relationships, in your health, in your body, in you, so that then you're very low vibrational. You're giving off this sort of low vibe negative energy, and that kind of energizes them as well. So either way, it doesn't matter which. And I see everything in creation as having a meaning, a purpose, and worth. So some people get very negative and sniffy about entities and can be quite mean about them and say horrible things. But I just think, well, you know, it's just positive, negative. They're two sides of a coin, aren't they? Who am I to say that negative entities, you know, to them, I'm like evil incarnate because I'm on the lighter, higher vibrational side. They would hate to be around me most of the time. So it's not my position to judge. So I see these things with lots of empathy, lots of love. Now, one thing that made me laugh was Dr. Brad did say, one way to get rid of entities is tell them a joke. They hate jokes. They hate anything that's funny, anything that makes you laugh, which that did actually make me chuckle. It kind of cheered me up, and I'll often tell clients that if they do have an entity attached, because they could get a little bit like freaked out by it, and that usually gives them a little smile and a chuckle and lightens the moment as well. So staying in a higher vibrational state, raising your vibration, is one way to avoid getting entity attachments. And not engaging in sort of too many addictive things, you know, not watching negative stuff or listening to negative stuff, or taking in negative stuff. That's another way. So what to do if you think you've got an entity attached? Well, you can come and see me or another practitioner who's a practitioner of body code, and we can test to see if you do actually have one attached, and if you do, we can go through our protocol just to easily clear it and sort of help you to clear it as well. If you wish to do it yourself, then you could read the body code book. It is actually quite complex though, so I would suggest you read the emotion code book first. That's the emotion code is level 1. It's the foundational level of these two methods. And then once you've done that and you've mastered a bit of the muscle testing method that's in the book, then move over to body code. But I would suggest that you work with someone who's expert in this area and who knows, kind of deals with it and knows what they're doing. Now, an interesting thing about entities is it seems they will often get drawn in when you're about to have a big breakthrough, when you're about to upgrade in some way yourself, your life, your reality. And it's almost like they kind of come in to try and stop you from doing that, to try and keep you down and stop you from moving on. And I had personal experience of this. It's a good thing that I sort of work in this zone and I'm quite grounded with it all, because if I wasn't, this would have been a terrifying experience. So this was linked in with the seminar that I went to last year in London with Dr. Bradley Nelson, and after he'd been talking about all this sort of stuff. And I had a very profound experience in that seminar with all these other practitioners, hearing Dr. Brad. It really brought home to me the gravity, importance, depth of this work that we are doing, these techniques that Dr. Brad has created. And I fully, I had this moment. I went up to my hotel room, I sat quietly, and I just felt like this depth of commitment to supporting others on their healing journey through this work, through the things that I do as an intuitive. And I really felt like I hadn't kind of voiced that to whoever or whatever created all of this. I'm not classically religious, but I do believe in some kind of God, creator, source energy. I don't know how it's packaged, but something bigger than everything that's behind all of this beautiful creation. And I thought, I've never voiced my commitment. And I sat on the edge of my hotel room bed and I just closed my eyes and I said, whatever you are, Heavenly Father, source creator, divine creator, God, whatever you are, whatever amazing unconditional love force is behind all of this, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm on your team, and I want you to know that I want you to work through me as a divine channel, doing this work, helping other people. Just send me where you want me to go, guide me to whoever, send me the people that I'm a right match to help with. Work through me like a conduit on earth to bring this lovely unconditional love and healing through to the planet. I'm kind of, here I am, let's do this, I'm on the team. And it was the most magical moment, and even when I talk about it now I get like head to toe tingles, alignment tingles I call them. And I was like fully heart committed on that. It was a big moment in my life. It was very magical. The next night I had an experience where I was awake, I was lying in bed, and something was in the room with me. I could hear it, I could feel it, I could sense it. Now, in the past, years ago, I did have what's called, some people call it night nurse paralysis, night paralysis. sleep paralysis. You know, I've encountered that in the past. This was not that. This was not that. This was different. And at one point, and this happened over about 3 nights, every night consistently, something would come into the room. I would hear things, and one night I literally felt something get into bed behind me. I was lying on my side. It got into bed behind me, and it was panting in my ear, and it sounded like when a dog is panting in your ear, and I could feel the weight of it behind me. And I just thought, yeah, this ain't happening, mate. No, I'm not having this. And something that I do in those situations is I said the Lord's Prayer and just asked for divine support. And I asked the energy of the Christos, Jesus Christ, to sort of come in and bring light and healing and whatever needed to be done. And it just kind of went. But it did get a bit much over these 3 consecutive nights, to the point where I brought I've got a selenium wand, and selenium crystal, it's very cleansing, it's very good for negative energies, and I brought a piece of amethyst in, and I had them by my bed, and I had juniper oil, which is also very protectional, and I was putting my bubble of protection around me. So, and I just feel that the level of deep commitment and unconditional love, and my teaming up with the divine, that was my like stepping up, my upgrading. And it's like I was sort of almost being tested, really. And yeah, you know, these things are coming. Yeah, really? Are you sure? Yeah, really? Yeah, how committed are you? So I experienced that. Being completely honest, there was another experience, which is, again, I work in this zone, but it was so disconcerting. My partner, I call him Alpha Male Andy, does what he says on the tin. A man of very few words, a very strong kind of leading energy. We went to a friend's house, and our friends had done a beautiful meal. We had candles everywhere, and on that night a couple of years ago, we did have a little bit too much alcohol consumption. My partner, Alpha Male Andy, more than me, I must say. And we stayed there the night, and there was some intimate activity that night. And when that happened, I saw over my partner, I saw what I can only describe like a demon with horns and everything. So that was one of these sort of entities that I would say has never been here before. And when I checked in and ran a session on him afterwards, there was one attached. Which I had to clear. So that was quite challenging and disconcerting, but it was all fine, all cleared. And then another thing to know about, and again a personal experience that we've had and that Dr. Brad talks about with his wife Jean, is sometimes if you are part of a couple and you usually get on okay, but you start to really have a go at each other, get irritated with each other, have lots of conflict between you, sometimes there's more than just the two of you in that relationship. There may be an entity coming in that's prodding you both and trying to cause that negative energy to come out. Alpha Male Andy and I, we visited his mum one night, and they were sort of having this very, very important, very deep, but very difficult discussion about some things that have kind of happened in life. From the minute we left that house, we were different people together, and we had a horrible weekend together where we just, I don't even know, it was just, we like just became these other people. It was awful. And when I checked us and ran a session, I think we had 2 entities attached in there. So there was 4 of us in that relationship at that point. As soon as we cleared that out, everything was fine. So those are things to watch out for. Keeping your vibration high, watching out if you're part of a couple. If you start to have conflict between you, there may be something going on. If you start feeling all those things like fatigue, low mood, depression, self abuse, nightmares, feeling like there's something coming in from the outside, feeling like there's something affecting you that isn't you, pressing in from the outside, those types of things, there may be something going on. And also if you're going through a big life upgrade in some way, then this sort of thing might happen. But hopefully you're all good and there's nothing going on there, and you're just watching this because you're like, oh, what's an entity? And I hope I haven't terrified you now. So just negative energies, it's all just energy. Everything is energy. You, me, the desk, the lamp, the chair, the entity, everything, we're all in this field of energy, and some of it is positively charged and some of it is negatively charged. So any questions on this? I would love your questions on this. Please put them in the comments below. If you want a session with me, I run sessions, then I'll put my links below. Contact me. We can have a chat and get you booked in and sorted out. If you've had any experiences with entities, I would love your feedback. Then again, in the comments below, let me know. And if enough of you ask the same thing, I'll make a video on it and put that up as well. I love questions. I love questions. It makes it easier for me to know what to talk about, what people are actually interested in. All right, so go raise your vibration. There's a free meditation that is called Raise Your Vibration. I made it to help you. Guess what? Raise your vibration. I'll put the link to that below. Go and nab that. It's got lovely music on it. I speak you through a body scan, relaxation. It's very, very relaxing. People seem to love it. So go nab that and just, yeah, keep the entities at bay. All right, signing off.